Morning. We got a fun slate, fun race here coming up. An interesting one with this, with how qualifying turned out, and we got potential rain in the forecast, and a brand new track. Guys that we thought were going to be fast that weren't fast, like Tyler Reddick, can't seem to find speed at all. Guys that like Christopher Bell, who looked really good in practice and then qualified 31st. And then, we're going to have to embrace the chaos, the potential chaos. SVG on the pole. SVG he himself was not overly impressed with his lap times in practice. But he had the best car in practice, just in terms of overall speed and consistent speed. SVG had the best car. Blaney found speed in that second session. My boy Todd Gilliland has looked good all weekend. He qualified 7th. A long shot pick there by Bob Parkhurst this morning. That 34 car looks good this week. Ross Chastain's up there. He looks strong. Buscher said that he has a bad fast car, and that was shown in practice. He starts 16th. We've seen him come through the field at these road courses before and get the win. He did it at Watkins Glen last year. He's really happy with his car. And it's a road course, so we're going to be targeting Buscher just based on muscle memory at this point because he's so good at these racetracks. But it's even better when he likes his car. So, very good question. Who shits the bed if we have to go to rain tires? Number one is definitely, we talked about this on Stacking Denny's earlier this week. Austin Cindric is not good when the rain comes. Completely different person. Now, he has a strong car this week. I think he's going to be a popular pick. But he's not good when the rain comes. And it's looking more and more likely that there is going to be rain coming. When I checked last night, it looked like there was like a 40 to 50% chance when the race actually started. And then it gets up to like 60% a couple hours after the race, and they're pop-up showers. So, I mean, this could really throw a wrench in the race itself and how this race plays out. And that's why, when it comes to DraftKings lineups this week, I really think you have to diversify as much as we do want to, target or like hyper target these really good guys. Really good road course racers starting in the back. We can't forget about the other guys that are starting in the back that could move up just based on a strategy play or something weird happening with the weather. Like you can't discount those entirely. We're not, as weird as it sounds, we can't completely focus and make decisions this week based on speed because there is such an unknown factor with the brand new track, with the rain, with potential chaos. Several drivers mentioned turn one could get a little crazy. We got Ross Chastain starting third. We've seen him just dive bomb into the first turn. I think it was at Coda this year. It's his teammate on the pole, but hell, Chastain doesn't care. Right now, let's see. Weather is looking like, so the race is starting at 3. Weather looks good. Just cloudy up until 3. 4 is when the scattered thunderstorms start, 40% chance, and then 5 o'clock, we're looking at a thunderstorm. It says 71% chance at 5, 74% chance at 6. We could be racing to halfway here. If there's a thunderstorm, they have to clear out the stands. They have to do all that. We could easily be racing to halfway here because they're not going to let them. They're not going to let them rain or race if it's like a storm like that. So it kind of depends what this weather is going to do. And I think this race, the more I'm looking at the weather forecast, the more I'm looking at everything else. This is looking like it could be a good week to not play as much and just enjoy the race, which is kind of what I've said to do at Chicago Street Course these past few years, these past couple years, I guess. It's fun to make lineups. It's you can get locked in and think you have a really good strategy, but with so much unknowns, it's frustrating. I know for me, it's frustrating as hell when things go awry and the fast cars don't actually end up there. So I think this is a good week to not play your normal volume. Sit back, enjoy the race, get ready for Pocono next week. Maybe go out and do something else instead of spending a lot of time on lineups. But hey, we're here. We're going to do some lineups. We're going to go from there. Let's see here. Christopher Bell, the chalk play today. It's going to be hard not to build a lineup with him in it. All he needs is track position, and he can win this race. He's still one of the favorites to win here. He's starting 31st. You know, we're looking at all that place differential. If he's not the highest projected guy in any projections that you're looking at today, I would be very surprised. Bell is a top tier road course racer, and if he qualified third instead of 31st, we would be talking about him upsetting SVG. Now, the fact of the matter, SVG is on the pole, and I know this question is going to get asked a lot. Do we have to play SVG? You know, is he an automatic? To me, SVG this week is a tournament play. Definitely not running him in cash. There's way too many weird things that can happen in this race. He could jump a curb. His car could just be off the first run, and Chastain or Gibbs or someone else, hell, Ryan Preece, who qualified up there, they could get up there and lead early. Like, there's no guarantee. SVG is the most likely driver to dominate this race. Yes, he could go out there and lead 100 laps, all 100 laps, and win this race. If it was based purely on talent, purely on speed, and track position, yes, SVG could absolutely Kyle Larson this race. But the fact of the matter is that's not what happens at these road course races. We see too much strategy come into play. We see too many things get shuffled up. Then it makes it really difficult to pick the pole sitter. So that's why, like, I'm still going to pick SVG, but he's not popping in my projections by any means. If I run 150 lineups, just straight up using my projections over at Rotoballer this week. By the way, use code SUMMER. You're going to get like 65% off a packages for the rest of the year. You can get the rest of my content this year for like $55 by using code SUMMER. Amazing deal. If you don't want to do that, weekly passes start at 99 cents first week. But you throw in my projections, you don't do anything, you just let them run for 150 lineups. SVG is only coming in 11%. So it's there that you need to have him, but he's not a must-own this week. As much as he is the favorite and everything else, there's just too many place differential points out there for me to want to go all in or anything with SVG. So my optimally projected lineup this week is Christopher Bell, William Byron, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell actually goes into this optimally projected lineup. Ryan Blaney and Cole Custer. Believe it or not, my optimal projected includes Cole Custer. He's a sneaky play at road course races. I'll say that. And I really like him in tournaments. He's popping in my projections. Personally, if I'm hand building this lineup, I'm probably going with Zane over Custer. I think Zane has a little more reliable upside is what I would call it. I think they both have upside. But I would say Zane's a little more reliable. I mean, look at what he did in the Truck Series on road course races, and look what he's done. Even though Zane Smith has not had the most luck in the Cup Series, you look at his finishes at road courses last year: 19th at the Charlotte Roval, 5th at Watkins Glen, 17th in Chicago Street Course, 16th at Sonoma, 19th at Coda. Starts 24th. His teammate Todd Gilliland has one of the fastest cars in the field this week. Zane Smith can get up there and finish top 15, and that's all you need with a lineup filler like that for someone at 6,000. As I said, I do like Cole Custer. He's not, to me, he's even less reliable than Zane Smith, and we all know my history of Zane Smith and how he's one of my dead to me drivers. But Cole Custer, looking back at 2022, and obviously, you know, this is 2 years or 3 years ago, different car or different team for him. This Haas factory team isn't that great, but 2022 for Cole Custer: 11th at Watkins Glen, 9th at Indy Road Course, 15th at Road America, 21st at Sonoma, 23rd at Coda, 24th at Charlotte Roval. He was 23rd at Coda earlier this year after starting 30th. If you need the cap space, I don't think enough people are talking about Cole Custer this week. I know a lot of people are going to gravitate toward Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starting 33rd, and he's one of those guys that you need to have exposure to because he starts 33rd, he can move up, but he's not a very good road course racer. So what he's going to need to get up there is strategy and maybe some luck, which that's why you need the exposure when you're building lineups, because that stuff is likely to happen. But as far as just pure road course talent, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. isn't going to get there. Whereas someone like Zane Smith, if he gets some track position and he's running 12th, you know, at the start of the final stage, he could crack the top 10 on talent, on road course talent. So I want that kind of upside going this far low. Again, though, Stenhouse starting 33rd, it's hard to overpass that. He finished 18th at Coda this year, 16th at the Charlotte Roval last year, 6th in the Chicago Street Course. Like he's been able to finish some good races at road courses. Last year at Watkins Glen, 37th. He was 24th at Sonoma, 28th at Coda last year. So it's you have to have some of them, but again, I like Zane Smith better. I think I like Cole Custer a little bit better. I understand the upsides there, though, with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and John Hunter Nemechek and having to go down there to save some even more cap and have that place differential upside. But I am going to lock this one in here with Zane Smith. I'm going to go Christopher Bell, William Byron, Chris Buescher. By the way, Chris Buescher, when I checked this morning, Chris Buescher was still plus money for a top 10 finish at Bet365. I can't get any more down on it than what I have. I would recommend that bet for sure. Chris Buescher, like I said, he loves his car this weekend. It's very rare for him to say this. And he is one of the best he has the best road course average finish in the next gen era. Like you can arguably say he's the best road course racer, at least from consistency standpoint right now. Loves his race car. Plus money odds for a top 10 finish. Hammer that. I would if I could. If I could get down more, I would. So Bell, Byron, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, who I think can win this race as well. Ryan Blaney and Zane Smith. Now, what's really interesting is all of the value in that mid-range there with Michael McDowell. Like I said, Michael McDowell and under, there's a lot of ways you can go there. So let's take this exact same lineup. Go Bell, Byron, Buescher. We had McDowell. We had Zane Smith and Ryan Blaney. Okay, so if you take McDowell out of this and you could just immediately start swapping with all of these guys. Chase Briscoe looked good in practice, qualified mid-pack. We saw him run well at Coda earlier this year. You know, he's one of those kind of unknowns. We're still trying to figure out this team. They're still trying to figure out this car. Briscoe, like he's so hit or miss, but he has a decent road course history. Alex Bowman, I'm a little hesitant on Alex Bowman, to be honest with you. Just because of that wreck last week at Michigan. I think I'm not sure that that he's 100%. Decent road course racer. I'm not going to say good. Decent road course racer. Starts 29th, so you got to have him. But I'm not fully gravitating directly toward Alex Bowman this week. I'm a little worried about that wreck last week and how it's going to affect him this week. He hasn't found any speed this weekend. 29th fastest in first practice. Bowman was 26th fastest in second practice. Qualified 29th. I'd rather go someone like Carson Hocevar. I think Carson Hocevar has good upside today. Which drivers will benefit most from the low tire wear? So it's going to be the guys that are smoother and just generally SVG is, while he can be aggressive, SVG is very smooth, a very smooth road course racer. So low tire wear is going to help him. Chris Buescher, it's going to help him. I would say Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell did say he's also prepared for the rain. He hopes it doesn't happen, but he's another one that I think could benefit from the rain. Chase Elliott's another one that seems to run better in the rain. And then I think like just the natural road course guys are going to benefit from if it rains. The Michael McDowells, the SVGs, AJ Allmendinger, Chase Elliott, guys like that. Christopher Bell still. I think they're gonna get a leg up with that. So I'm gonna throw Hocevar in here. It gives you an extra 800 to work with, which makes things really interesting on where you want to go. If you want to stick with Zane Smith, you could cut Byron and go pretty much anywhere you want. We can't forget about Reddick at $9,700, starting 22nd. I don't know what the hell happened to that car. They cannot find any speed at all this weekend. He straight up said that they missed it. They don't know what to do, which is concerning. But it's another one of those situations where it's Tyler Reddick at a road course race starting 22nd, just based on track type talent. You have to have a decent amount of Tyler Reddick today. And he's another guy that my projections don't particularly love. He's right there in that SVG range. I think Reddick should be a top 12 car, but can he get up there and actually do what he normally does? At road course races, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see that. So I'm fine, honestly, with this lineup right here. Just switching out McDowell to Hocevar. I like building around that core of Bell, Byron, Buescher, Blaney. Obviously you could go Cindric over Blaney here. You could go Briscoe over Blaney, if you wanted to. But this is also a decent week to leave cap space on the table. There's no reason to have to. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see the optimal lineup leave $1,000 out there. It would not surprise me one bit. So yeah, I'm going to go Hocevar here. Hocevar over McDowell. Same exact lineup as before. Bell, Byron, Buescher, Blaney, Zane Smith, and then I'm just going Hocevar over McDowell, which I had before. Here's one to make sure I have some Stenhouse exposure. Going Bell, Byron, Allmendinger, Briscoe, Blaney, Stenhouse. And Allmendinger. So you go Bell, Byron, Allmendinger, Briscoe, Blaney, Stenhouse. Let's do a Bell, Byron, Reddick, Blaney. Tell you what, Bob Parker's picked Joey Logano, and I don't agree with it, but I also don't like to disagree with Bob. You can also hear what I am going to do here. I'm going to go Stenhouse, Hocevar. So go Bell, Byron, Reddick, Blaney, Stenhouse, Hocevar. And then I'm going to do a similar lineup here. Go Bell, Byron, Reddick. I'm going to do the Logano one. So Bell, Byron, Reddick, Blaney, Logano, Zane. And with there being so many options, that's why it's so easy this week to me, it's so easy with these switch outs, locking in a core 3 or 4 drivers or 5, and then just swapping out the different options elsewhere. Swap like I said from my optimal with McDowell in it, I just swap down to Briscoe, or I can swap down to Hocevar. You can go either way, and you can do that a lot with a lot of these lineup builds with the way the pricing structure is this week. So you go Bell, Byron, Reddick. If we go Custer here, I don't want to trust him, but if you go Custer, Blaney, Ty Gibbs, I mean, is there a chance Ty Gibbs goes out there and wins this thing? He's typically a pretender from practice to qualifying, but if there's going to be a track that I think Gibbs could actually get it done and back up his practice speeds, it's going to be something like a road course. So at least right now, I can't trust him anywhere else. So just for the sake of having some Ty Gibbs exposure, I will grab that and I will put that one in. Bell, Byron, Reddick, Gibbs, Custer, and Blaney. Let's see here. So I kind of want to get away. So my initial optimal projected was Bell, Byron, Busher, McDowell, Blaney, Custer. I should probably put that one in. I put the one in with Zane before it. Let me put this in real quick. So we go Bell, Byron, Busher, McDowell, Blaney. I'm going back to Zane here. I did the Hocevar. I want to get a Briscoe one on here. Yeah, so I believe what you're referring to, we were talking about the aggressive guys getting the advantage when the rain comes. But as far as like when it's dry, I think the more not safe drivers, but the more consistent guys are going to have a little bit of an advantage. But looking at this, we need some. So Gregson wrecked his car in practice, starting 35th. He's one of those guys. He's like a Stenhouse where you need to have exposure, just based on the place differential upside. Finished 8th at Coda this year after starting 17th. 11th at Watkins Glen last year, 14th at Chicago Street Course. Gregson didn't go out in final practice. He basically used qualifying as a practice session. So, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go Bell Reddick. Bell Reddick Gregson. McDowell, Busher, and Blaney. I think Blaney has a great car today. I do. And I think he's underpriced. I'm going to have a ton of Blaney. I know that. That's a very good question. Where does Gilly need to finish to realistically pay off? Well, let's do the math. So he starts 7th. Let me check something real quick here. I'll say this. I've talked about this on my live streams before. I enjoy situations where I can have a stake in a driver in betting and then kind of hedge against not using him, hedge that to not use him in DFS. And Gilliland is a prime example this week of something like that. I hit him early in the week, 9-1 for a top 10. I'm perfectly fine rolling with that and not worrying about him in DFS this week. And with that being said, we still have to analyze, what where he needs to finish to make it worth it. So looking at Todd Gilliland, he starts 7th. And here's my concern. Coda this year, The road courses last year, Indy Road Course 2023, the highest amount of fastest laps that Todd Gilliland has had is one. I think we're going to need him to lead and put down some fastest laps for it to work out, because a top 5 finish, which would be probably Gilly's career effort for Gilly, top 5 finish only gets you 41 DraftKings points this week. Okay, so if we look at other people in that range, so Keselowski to get to 41. Keselowski needs to get to 16. Again, not that great of a road course racer. And this is if Todd Gilliland finishes 5th. Noah Gragson to get to 41 points. He has to get 18th and he'll get 42. Not out of this world for him. Zane Smith to get to 41 points. $13th for Zane Smith. So realistically, I think for Gilly to have a chance, he's going to need to finish top 5. Do I think he can do it? I hope he can do it. I'd love to see Gilly run really well this week. I'd love to see him challenge for the win. I think he has a solid top 10 car. Practice speeds wise, he had top 5 practice speeds in practice. He had top 5 speeds in practice. That was a little redundant. So based off of that, yes, I think Gilly can. But he's one of those guys. I don't think I'm going to get to him in DFS just because I have that bet. I have the 9-1 top 10. If he kills me, he's not going to kill me in DFS because he's not going to be super high owned. But if he quote unquote kills me in DFS, I'm fine with it because that means he's going to finish top 10. So yeah, and that's just my personal position when it comes to Gilliland. But I think top 5, Gilliland needs to finish top 5 for it to realistically pay off. And then you're going to need these place differential guys to kind of, I would say, do what you expect them to do and not have any additional upside. So good question. A good way to get thinking there. Looking at my projections, I don't even think, Gilliland showed up in one lineup has Gilly in it. All right, getting back to these lineups. Chase. I'm going to put make sure I didn't already do this, but I want to put in Bell, Byron, Busher, Briscoe, Blaney, Zane. Yeah, because I think this last one was I didn't duplicate any of these. Okay. So Bell, Busher, Byron, Briscoe, Blaney, Zane Smith. There we go. We're gonna do that same lineup here with Gregson in it over Zane. From a value perspective, so just taking my projected points or the dollar, the driver salary divided by my projected points, my top 5 value plays today are Bell, Busher, Byron, Briscoe, Blaney, in that order. Definitely need some Keselowski exposure with him starting 30th. Again, he's not a good road course racer, but starting 30th, you need to have some of him. He has not had a top 10 at a road course since Sonoma in 2022, and that is his only top 10 in the next gen era. Before that, his last top 10 before that was Daytona Road Course in 2021. So Keselowski, the upside's there just because he starts 30th. I want some exposure to him. So I'm going to go with this Bell, Busher, Briscoe, Blaney, Reddick, Keselowski. And like I said, it's going to be difficult to build lineups without, especially when I'm sitting here building with by hand, without Christopher Bell and them. You can take a stand. You can go underweight on him in tournaments if you want. I understand that he could blow a tire, he could do something crazy, but just from a pure speed road course perspective, him starting 31st, he is an automatic first click. Let's go Bell, Reddick, Busher. Let's go Hocevar. We already did this one, I think. Bell, Reddick, Busher. Maybe not. Bell, Reddick, Busher, Hocevar, Zane Smith. I'm going to put this one in. Bell, Reddick, Busher, Hocevar, Zane Smith, Michael McDowell. And go Bell, Busher, Elliott, Briscoe, Zane Smith, and Austin Cindric. Again, I don't like Austin Cindric in the rain, but with a dry track, he's a pretty good road course racer. Let's do Christopher Bell, William Byron, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell. Ryan Blaney, Zane Smith here. Similar here, Bell, Busher, Hocevar, McDowell, Reddick, and Zane. Kyle Busch had one of the best cars at COTA. He doesn't seem to have that kind of speed here this weekend, but I still think he could challenge for a top 5. I bet him outright earlier this week, 25-1. Don't think that's going to hit. Not super confident in it, but I want to get some exposure to him here in DFS, so I'm going to go with this one. Just one of the high price guys here with Bell, and then going Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Carson Hocevar. Kyle Busch. All right, I'm going through my optimally projected lineups. Here's one with SVG. So to have some SVG exposure, I am going to enter this. So SVG, Bell, Buscher, Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Cole Custer. And that is, just for the record, that's the 13th highest projected lineup with my projections here. So if we go SVG Bell, I'm just going to kind of play around with this here. So SVG Bell, Byron, SVG Bell, Byron, Zane Smith, Noah Gragson, Ryan Blaney. You can do that same lineup with Reddick instead of Byron too. So SVG Bell, Reddick, Blaney, Gragson, and Zane. Excuse me. Ugh. All right, so I got some SVG lineups in there now. I got one more here. If you guys have any drivers you want to start with or any questions, go ahead and throw them in there. Yeah, so there's two deals running right now on Rotoballer. So it's exactly what it is. If you get a weekly pass, you're going to get whichever tier you select, you'll get all that content for 1 week. The first week is 99 cents. After that, it will bump up to the regular price. I think it's like one of them's $10, one of them's 15, something like that. It will, but for the first week, you're paying 99 cents. If you don't like it, if you just want to get 1 week of access, you can cancel it. You can not renew your subscription. No strings attached, nothing. It is what it is. 99 cents. I don't even think you need a code for that. It's just straight up 99 cents. Also, the Rotoballer is running a code summer this week with and what it's gonna equal out to is if you get like just my content package, you'll get it for the rest of the season for like $53 is what it turns out to. If you get the top tier package, which includes all of my content plus the optimizer and everything, I think it gets into it's going to take a good chunk off. I want to say it's like it's like $60 or $70 for the rest of the year. Which I mean, obviously we're not even halfway through the season. So to me, it's a great deal. But yeah, weekly pass, $1. Go ahead and try it out. If you're on the fence or if you just want to see what's all included, what you all get in addition to like these live streams and everything, you'll get my algorithm predicted finishing order, DraftKings projections, DraftKings strategy, everything. My betting card, my bets, those have been on fire this year. Again, I got Gilliland early. Anybody that in my package and followed me this week got Gilliland plus 900 for a top 10 earlier this week. Excited about that. Hopefully you can pull it off today. So yeah, rotoballer.com. I don't think you need a code for the weekly pass for 99 cents to start with. If you want to go full season the rest of the way, like I said, use code SUMMER. You're going to get 60% off packages. Massive deal. I know I'm biased, but I think this is a really good deal. Especially if you're on the fence and you just want to see. I think the betting cards by themselves are worth it. Not to mention, algorithm predicted finishing order, DraftKings projections, everything. And then I mean, we have a team of guys, myself included, that we break down every single driver preview for every single week and kind of look at strategy for them specifically. That's included as well. So ton of content, ton of NASCAR content that you can check out at Rotoballer. So make sure you do that. You have way too much Nemechek. How did you land on Nemechek? I understand him starting 32nd, him being, but I don't feel like you need to go down that far. Because yeah, I'm not really considering him at all. 0 top 20s in road course races in the Cup Series, 8 starts. So even starting 32nd, I mean, if he finishes 22nd, which would probably be a pretty good race for him, I'm probably going to actually just try to talk you out of this before I get a lineup or put a lineup with him. But 22nd for him, which, like I said, would be a good race, is 30 DraftKings points. Yeah, I understand that. I understand. Like, and we don't know. Like I said, this is the week to be different. This is the week to spread out your exposure. I say that as I was hyper focused with most of these lineups, you know, and I have concentrations around some of these guys, but yeah, I get it. I'm not there on it. I don't think you need to dig that deep this week. Like I said, I like my favorite low dollar guys are Zane Smith, Cole Custer. If you need to go down to Stenhouse, I'd rather go there than Nemechek. Not going down to Ty Dillon, Cody Ware, Catherine Legg. I feel like I need more Chase Elliott. So I have one lineup goes Bell, Busher, Briscoe. Okay, so what if we go Bell, Elliott, Busher, McDowell, Briscoe, Custer. One guy that we haven't got to today is Bubba Wallace. He's an interesting one. I am concerned that 2311 just isn't good this weekend. But I should probably have some Bubba Wallace exposure, right? I agree. Any thoughts on Larson? Doesn't seem like anybody's talking about him this week. Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to run. So he starts what, 6th? I think he's going to run around 6th, 4th to 6th all week or all race. I'm not sure that 5 car is good enough to win. Obviously, he's good enough to win. I don't think anybody's talking about him this week, and I can kind of see maybe a minor edge in being on Larson with nobody talking about him. I mean, it is Kyle Larson. He's won at road courses before, but to me, he's kind of being talked about in the correct amount. I think he's going to probably run where he starts, and he's going to finish there. You know, I don't I don't know if he goes out and wins this race. FanDuel building different from DraftKings. Place differential matters more in DraftKings than it does FanDuel. And then FanDuel does not give you points for fastest laps. It just gives you, I think, I haven't played FanDuel in a while, so if they change scoring or if it's not correct, let me double check. I don't play a ton of FanDuel. So for every lap completed, you get a 1/10 of a point. For every lap led, you get a 1/10 of a point. And then place differential is a 1/2 a point per position for FanDuel. So you're definitely looking for guys that stay on the lead lap. It's just FanDuel has more of a gear toward finishing position, while having some importance to place differential. Like I said, I don't particularly like FanDuel. Because their payout structures have always been awful. Like it hasn't been real fun to play their contests. And I honed in on playing DraftKings, when I really started playing DFS, and I just kind of stuck with it. So I used to just kind of, still do FanDuel projections. I just never, I feel like they weren't up to my level of expected quality, so I never really continued to do them. I had some good FanDuel days, but I never played enough and consistently to really kind of know the ins and outs of it like I do DraftKings. So I'm going to put this final lineup in here to have some Bubba Wallace exposure. So going Bell, Byron, Busher, Hocevar, Blaney, Bubba Wallace. I have a ton of Ryan Blaney today. All 20 lineups that I just put in have Christopher Bell on them. If you're wondering who I'm on, Chris Busher, have a ton of Chris Busher today. William Byron, a lot of him. Significant amount of Reddick as well. So if we have any more questions, I will answer those, give you guys a couple minutes. Other than that, I am going to hop off of here. Like I said, embrace the chaos this week. Expect the unexpected. Our place differential lineups viable this week in case chaos happens with lap leaders at the end. Are you talking about DraftKings or FanDuel? Because we were just talking about FanDuel, but absolutely, you need to focus on place differential today. There's so many place differential options this week. Yeah, but that's where strategy comes into play, and the good road course racers will get there. I'm not worried whatsoever about it being hard to pass. I mean, hell, you look at Chris Busher. He has started looking at the last 7 road course races. He has started 24th, 29th, 24th, 16th, 26th, 20th, and 20th. He has finished 7th, 17th, 1st, 20th, 3rd, 8th, 7th. The good guys will get there. So I'm not worried about it. Enough to shift my strategy here. You look at Coda earlier this year. Christopher Bell started 19th. He won the race. William Byron started 15th. He finished 2nd. There were the good guys that started up front, finished up front. So Tyler Reddick started on the pole, finished 3rd. Chase Elliott started 3rd, finished 4th. Kyle Busch started 8th, finished 5th. SBG 6th and 6th. But then we had Buescher, who started 24th, finished 7th. Gregson started 17th, finished 8th. Bowman started 21st, finished 9th. So I don't think I would not shift your DFS strategy at all to based on the potential that it could be hard to pass today, because those guys are going to get there. It's just going to be like the SVGs and the guys that qualified up front are going to have the advantage early on, but best play up front outside of SVG. Yeah, probably Chastain, but give me Michael McDowell. For his price, I'll take Michael McDowell. I really like Michael McDowell this week. Give you guys a few minutes. This is a pretty quick one. Again, I'm not playing a ton of volume today. Feel really good about my bets. Looking to just enjoy the race and move on to Pocono, get this season, keep going. Again, new track, a lot of unknowns, weather. Those kind of things just kind of make you want to shy away from playing a ton of DFS. Or it could make you want to play more, but all right, we got about 3 hours until lock on DraftKings. So, yeah. Or McDowell seems really happy with his car. And, as weird as it sounds, you kind of pick up on that. Same with Buescher. Buescher loves his car today. So, and remember, if you remember back to if you watched Stacking Denny's earlier this week, Nick said that the most comparable track to Mexico, based on all of his analysis, was Indy Road Course, or is Indy Road Course, which we don't race there anymore. But you remember who won the last race at Indy Road Course? Michael McDowell. So I think McDowell's going to be a factor today. If you subscribe, if you have my premium package on Rotoballer, you know that my algorithm loves Michael McDowell today and Chris Buescher. So I agree. I think McDowell's going to be a strong play today. Would definitely recommend considering him in DFS. But yeah. All right, I'm hopping off of here. Like I said, we got about 3 hours till lock. Oh, really? I missed that. When did he say that? That is rare. You never hear Kyle Busch say that. My problem with Kyle Busch saying that, though, is that he didn't have he didn't have a ton of speed. The Fords had, if you look at practice, the Fords had just, as far as raw speed, Fords were strong. So you look at the fastest laps between the two sessions. If you look at the fastest laps if you combine the two sessions, you look at just the single fastest laps. Gilliland had the fastest lap. Chastain had the next two. Ty Gibbs was then fourth. Ryan Blaney fifth. So Ford were two of the top five. And then it goes Buescher, Blaney, Preece, McDowell, Blaney. So out of the top 10, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Fords. 11th fastest lap was ran by Cindric. 12th was Logano. 13th was Cindric. 14th was Suarez. 15th was Preece, another Ford. 16th was Gilliland, another Ford. So the top 16 laps in practice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 of them were Fords. And then it was after that, after Gilliland at 16th, it was SVG, Suarez, SVG. But one Toyota in the top 20 laps in practice. Briscoe was 21st. He had the 21st fastest lap. Gibbs had some in there in the 20s, and he had that one, the fourth. But just something to note there. Fords, as far as single laps, Fords were strong. Yeah, and that's just, yeah, I agree with you. Like it's another unknown variable is how Ford didn't want to change. Ford stayed the same, and Chevy, and I think some Toyotas changed too. And like we don't even know how the altitude, what this is going to do to engines, what's this going to do to brakes. Like there's so many unknown variables today. Definitely spread around your exposures, and just play smart with DFS this week. Don't try to go too crazy. It is one of those weeks where I feel good about my core, I feel good about my strategy, but I'm not confident enough in it to play, big amounts of money. And I don't do that a ton anymore anyway, but there are some weeks where I'm feeling good, and I'll throw in, I'll get into the high dollar contest, but I really have no it doesn't entice me this week. I just want to enjoy the race. I want to have it or watch what should be very good race. Another one on Prime. Looking forward to Prime's coverage at a road course. So this should be good. All right, I'm hopping off of here, guys. A little under 3 hours till lock. You got plenty of time. Make sure you check out my content, rotoballer.com. You're going to use code SUMMER. You're going to get 65% off packages. If you want to just do a weekly pass, you'll get the first week for 99 cents. No strings attached. 99 cents straight up. If you don't like it, you can cancel. Hope you don't. But yeah, make sure, check everything out. Enjoy this race weekend in Mexico City. We'll be back next week talking about Pocono. See you guys.